They claimed it was beyond human capability. That diving 30 meters on just one breath defied biology. That young children couldn't possibly develop crystal-clear underwater vision. They insisted that sensing a tsunami before any visible warning signs was pure fantasy. Yet in the remote reaches of Southeast Asia, researchers discovered something that challenged every established scientific principle. What they uncovered among the Bajau and Moken peoples wasn't merely biological adaptation, it was evolution unfolding in real time, leaving the scientific community utterly astounded. The Bajau and Moken peoples. They navigate aquatic environments as if the ocean were their birthplace. Without oxygen tanks or modern diving equipment, just their lungs, handcrafted wooden goggles, and countless generations of maritime wisdom. These are the Bajau and Moken communities, frequently referred to as sea nomads. However, that description barely scratches the surface of their extraordinary capabilities. Their entire existence revolves around water, floating vessels, homes elevated on stilts above coral reefs, and abilities that should theoretically be impossible. In 2018, researcher Melissa Ilardo revealed groundbreaking findings in the scientific journal Cell. Numerous Bajau individuals possess spleens approximately 50% larger than those found in neighboring mainland populations. This isn't mere coincidence. Genetic markers near the PDE-10A region appear to facilitate this enlarged spleen development. A larger spleen can release significantly more oxygen-carrying red blood cells into circulation during submersion, delivering crucial oxygen to vital organs like the brain and heart. Certain Bajau divers dedicate multiple hours daily to underwater activities, descending to depths of 10, 20, or even 30 meters on a single inhalation, armed only with a spear in pursuit of their next meal. While the modern world calculates time in minutes and hours, these communities measure it through slowed heartbeats, a phenomenon triggered by the mammalian diving reflex, where blood flow redirects from extremities toward essential organs. The Moken people demonstrate a different form of remarkable adaptation. Research conducted by Anna Gieslane revealed that Moken children can perceive underwater environments with nearly double the clarity of European children. They achieve this by constricting their pupils to an extraordinary 1.9 millimeters and adjusting their eye lenses to the maximum limits of human capacity, reaching diopter ranges of 15 to 16. This isn't supernatural ability. It's a learned skill that must be acquired during childhood through daily diving in brilliantly lit tropical shallows. Then there's their knowledge of the laboon, the Moken term for the catastrophic wave. During the 2004 disaster, when the ocean mysteriously receded and fell eerily silent, Moken elders immediately recognized the warning signs. They led their communities to elevated terrain long before the tsunami struck the coastline. Not a single Moken individual perished that tragic day. As their elders teach, the ocean encompasses our entire universe. Somewhere within the intersection of genetics, physiological reflexes, and ancestral knowledge, that universe continues to communicate through them. The Maasai people. They leap as though gravity holds no authority over them. Their traditional diet would alarm contemporary nutritionists. They traverse countless miles across thorn-covered plains beneath the relentless equatorial sun, and they've maintained these practices for centuries. But if you attribute Maasai strength solely to physical conditioning and ceremonial traditions, you're overlooking the deeper narrative. These East African pastoralists inhabit the Great Rift Valley spanning Kenya and Tanzania. Their existence centers around cattle, seasonal rains, and their deity, Enkai. According to their beliefs, Enkai once bestowed cattle upon them by lowering a celestial rope from the heavens. Old Doinyo Lengai, known as the Mountain of God, still stands as the sacred connection between sky and earth. Their ceremonial practices resemble living legends. The Adumu jumping dance, where young warriors spring vertically upward with heels never contacting the ground, often continues for hours. Scientific studies document vertical leaps ranging from 50 to 60 centimeters, powered not through structured athletic training, but through daily movement patterns, herding livestock and undertaking extensive journeys across the savanna. Their traditional diet consists primarily of milk, meat, and blood. Conventional intake ranges from 600 to 2,000 milligrams of cholesterol daily. Yet, paradoxically, blood pressure and cardiovascular disease rates remain remarkably low within many of these communities. In 2012, research published in PLOS One documented genetic selection patterns in genes like FABP1, which governs fat metabolism, along with others connected to lactase persistence. However, transformation is occurring. The Olamayo lion hunting ritual, once a pivotal adulthood milestone, now exists primarily in collective memory and traditional songs. In 2010, the Lion Guardians program offered an alternative path, conserving lion populations, monitoring their movements, and sharing ecological knowledge. The Maasai Olympics, initiated in 2008, redirected traditional displays of courage toward competitive events like sprinting, spear throwing, and strength competitions. Their genuine extraordinary ability lies in preserving cultural heritage while adapting with remarkable precision. Their strength isn't confined to physical prowess or cardiovascular endurance, but manifests in how they balance ancestral traditions in one hand and modern scientific understanding in the other. The Sentinelese people. A solitary figure stands barefoot on a beach, bow gripped firmly. A helicopter circles overhead, delivering food and emergency supplies following the EEO 2004 tsunami. He draws his bow and releases. A single arrow cuts through the air. That arrow carried his message: "We have survived. Do not approach us." The Sentinelese inhabit a small forested island spanning just under 60 square kilometers, encircled by protective reefs and seemingly frozen in time. They represent Earth's last completely isolated tribal community. Since 1956, Indian law has prohibited approaching within 5 nautical miles of their territory. No visitors, no vessels, no rescue missions, because external contact would prove fatal to them, not through violence, but through pathogens their immune systems have never encountered. They hunt. They fish. They construct watercraft resembling canoes, which they navigate using poles in shallow waters. Their language remains completely unknown. Population estimates remain uncertain, ranging from just a handful to potentially over 100 individuals. But precise numbers miss the fundamental point. In 2018, an individual named John Allen Chow violated these protective laws, attempting to make contact. He did not survive the encounter. Indian authorities made no attempt to recover his remains. These regulations exist for critical reasons. Unsubstantiated rumors of cannibalism circulate in sensationalized media coverage, yet no credible evidence supports these claims. Scholars who have observed from respectful distances describe burial practices, family social structures, and controlled fire usage. The Sentinelese bury their deceased within specially constructed huts, not in earthen pits. They experience grief. They form emotional bonds. They are not primitive savages. They are survivors. When the ocean mysteriously retreated in 2004, they relocated to higher ground. No external warning reached them. They simply knew. The Korowai people within the emerald rainforests of Papua, elevated high above mosquito-infested swamplands, dwellings rise from the forest canopy, 30, sometimes 40 meters above ground level. Rope ladders dangle downward. Notched logs function as staircases. Floors constructed from sago palm, roofs woven from thatch, and the entire structure secured with rattan bindings. These are the Rumah Tinggi, tree houses, of the Korowai people. External observers initially theorized they constructed elevated homes to avoid flooding or insect infestations. But the Korowai themselves provide different reasoning. We build from concern, they explain to visiting anthropologists. Height provides protection from malevolent spirits, from hostile groups, from dangers below. Their architectural engineering emerges from instinctive knowledge. Men ascend trees barefoot, transporting heavy support beams and cross supports using nothing but accumulated practical experience. Entire family units can relocate within mere days. These structures are rapidly constructed, highly functional, and impressively robust. Helicopter surveys conducted between 1986 and 1990 documented settlements across clan territories, estimating approximately 4,000 speakers of the Korowai language. Western contact arrived late. In March 1974, researchers Peter Van Arsdale and colleagues reached the Upper Islandan River region, documenting fire-making techniques and travel routes. Government-sponsored villages were subsequently established, but numerous families maintained mobility, returning seasonally to ancestral lands, particularly during sago palm harvests. Then came the documentary filmmakers. Sensationalized productions claimed all Korowai lived exclusively in canopy dwellings or regularly practiced ritual cannibalism. In 2018, the BBC publicly acknowledged that a widely broadcast treehouse construction sequence had been staged specifically for television entertainment. Regarding cannibalism allegations, some isolated reports described rare executions of kakua, accused male sorcerers. However, scholars emphasized these were exceptional incidents, frozen into mythological narratives by outsiders seeking dramatic content. Today, many Korowai navigate between dual realities: tree houses and schoolhouses, ancient rituals, and modern infrastructure. Tibetans and Sherpa communities. Above the clouds, where most individuals struggle with each breath, Tibetans and Sherpa people move with remarkable ease. Not merely walking, but farming, constructing, running, and guiding foreign visitors across Earth's most unforgiving altitudes. At elevations where atmospheric oxygen contains only half the concentration found at sea level, they don't simply survive, they genuinely thrive. In 2014, researchers published findings in Nature revealing that Tibetans carry a distinctive variant of the EPAS1 gene inherited from ancient populations related to Denisovans. This genetic variation enables them to maintain lower hemoglobin concentrations, keeping their blood less viscous, flowing efficiently, and preventing dangerous clotting under extreme conditions. Sherpa communities push this biological advantage to extraordinary limits. Elite Sherpa climbers have demonstrated VO2 max measurements around 66.7 milliliters per kilogram per minute at sea level. When they ascend Mount Everest, their muscular systems adapt to metabolize energy with greater efficiency. Recent research even suggests the GCH1 gene helps regulate nitric oxide within their bloodstream, dilating blood vessels to deliver increased oxygen without requiring elevated red blood cell production. However, this narrative extends beyond genetics. It encompasses culture, practiced pacing techniques, route planning expertise, and spiritual rituals. When Kami Rita reached Mount Everest's summit for his 31st time on May 27, 2025, he expressed no arrogance. He stated simply, "I climb for my family and for Nepal." Number 6. The Himba people. In the sun-scorched deserts spanning Namibia and Angola, where water sources are scarce and shade even rarer, Himba communities carry tradition through every shade of their skin and hair. Red with intentional purpose, red providing tangible protection. Each day, Himba women blend butterfat with red ochre called ochis and apply it systematically to their skin. The visual result is striking, but scientific analysis reveals more than aesthetic beauty. Hematite-rich ochre blocks, harmful ultraviolet radiation, repels insects, and reduces bacterial proliferation. Cosmetic science research has characterized it as a daily natural sunscreen that evolved without commercial products or modern marketing. External observers once claimed Himba women never bathed. That's complete mythology. The actual practice involves smoke. With minimal water availability, women create cleansing smoke baths from burning omuzumba resin and desert herbs. Wrapped in cloth, they allow warm aromatic smoke to cleanse their bodies, rising like ceremonial incense at dawn. Vision-related myths emerged next. One popular television program incorrectly claimed the Himba cannot perceive blue colors. But researchers like Debbie Robertson discovered something entirely different. The Himba language simply categorizes colors through systems that differ from European linguistic frameworks. Their visual perception functions normally. Their vocabulary simply follows alternative pathways. Fundamentally pastoralists, the Himba raise cattle in environments where few would attempt permanent habitation. Milk, whether fermented or fresh, constitutes a dietary staple. Many related groups, like the Herero, exhibit lower lactase persistence, so fermentation processes help them digest dairy safely. The Sami people. Across the frozen belt of northern Europe, through Norway, Sweden, Finland, and into Russia, the Sami people follow rhythms older than modern nations. They follow reindeer herds across tundra, through forests, between seasonal transitions. Where others perceive only ice and isolation, the Sami recognize movement, memory, and song. Approximately 80,000 to 135,000 Sami people inhabit Sapmi today, speaking 9 distinct Sami languages. In Norway alone, nearly 250,000 domestic reindeer graze each spring, predominantly in Finnmark. These animals aren't wild. They're carefully guided, herded, and monitored by families who understand the landscape like a map inscribed in snow. Their joik, sometimes spelled yoik, transcends simple melody. It represents how one musically embodies a mountain, a person, a memory. Research suggests joik contributes to stress management and mental wellness, grounding cultural identity through vocal expression. It functions as medicine transmitted through harmony. But historical treatment hasn't always been respectful. During the 1600s, spiritual leaders called noidi were persecuted and their sacred painted drums confiscated. One such drum, seized in 1691, remains entangled in ongoing repatriation disputes. Yet the music endured, the herds survived, and the struggle continues. In contemporary courts and along icy roadways, Sami leaders now defend ancestral territories against commercial development. Norway has issued public apologies for historical injustices, but conflicts over grazing rights remain actively contested. The Brogpa, Drakpa, people in Ladakh's narrow valleys, where altitude thins the atmosphere and the Indus River carves through mountains, there exists a small, radiant community called the Brogpa, or as they identify themselves, the Minaro. Fewer than 4,000 individuals remain, concentrated primarily in Dahanu, Garkon, and Darchik villages. Their language, Brokskat, faces endangerment, an Indo-Aryan tongue with fewer than 500 active speakers. And their ceremonial practices illuminate like the flowers they wear. Women craft tepi headdresses from silver coins and fresh orange blossoms, adornments called montu, believed to protect against malevolent forces. Their colorful clothing isn't mere decoration, it's defense, their history woven into petals. During harvest seasons, they celebrate Bonana, a 5-day Thanksgiving festival of hymns, dance, and spirit-guided prayer. The Lubba, or spirit medium, fasts and chants, leading the village through rituals that rotate cyclically every few years. The most recent recorded ceremony occurred in 2016. Historical myths once proclaimed them to be pure Aryans descended from Alexander's army. However, a 2019 genetic study and the broader 2024 Highlander Genome Project both definitively debunked this claim. Their DNA represents a complex blend of South and Central Asian ancestry. beautiful certainly, but not mythological. Their genuine miracle lies in survival itself. Along crumbling agricultural terraces, they cultivate barley and maintain orchards. On depleted soil and oxygen-starved air, they continue singing in Brukskat. One elder expressed it plainly. "We thank the divine. We tend our fields. We wear our flowers." In a world that forgets rapidly, they remember deliberately. That constitutes their true power. The Kalenjin people. In Kenya's Rift Valley, where red soil meets dawn's chill, the Kalenjin run, not just swiftly, but seemingly endlessly. In towns like Aitan, positioned over 2,400 meters above sea level, the air is thin and the legs never cease moving. The statistics are undeniable. Though the Kalenjin constitute roughly 10% of Kenya's population, they've claimed over 80% of the nation's distance running medals. Marathon champions, Olympic legends, world record holders, they consistently emerge from this singular region. But this isn't mystical ability. It's multifaceted. Studies dating back to 2006 by Vincent Oniwera, Yanis Pitsiladis, and Ross Tucker identified clear patterns. Most elite runners grew up running to school, living at high altitude, and training collectively. Culture became embedded in every stride. Physiology contributes significantly as well. Even untrained Kalenjin youth have demonstrated lower oxygen consumption during running, meaning they expend less energy to cover greater distances. Their limbs are proportionally longer, their frames lighter. Efficiency consistently prioritized over raw power. Nutrition plays a role too. Meals typically consist of simple fare, ugali, greens, milk. But training regimens are anything but simple. Hill repeats, group pacing strategies, repetitive drills, intense focus. Lorna Kiplagat, a long-distance legend, once observed, "If you train at 2,400 meters, when you descend to lower altitude, you feel like you're flying." Nobody granted them wings, they earned them through relentless dedication. The Zangbeto. In the coastal regions of Benin, Togo, and southwestern Nigeria, something tall and whirling appears at dusk. Covered in raffia fibers, spinning like a straw-constructed whirlwind, they pulse with energy. These are the Zangbeto, the people of the night. To villagers, they are spirits. To researchers, they represent an ingenious fusion of community security and ritual theater. Anthropologists studying the Batonu people in Nigeria conducted interviews in 2013 demonstrating that Zangbeto patrols deter theft, mediate disputes, and even present wrongdoers for local justice. But their presence transcends mere order. It generates awe. Each January 10th during Benin's Vodun Day and throughout the Uwida Festival running through January 11th, Zangbeto flood the streets. They spin, they erupt with sacred charms, they captivate audiences. Outsiders inquire what exists beneath the costume. Locals respond, nothing. Believers insist the spirit itself manifests as reality. Scholars point to secret initiates concealed beneath the layers, guided by ancient rhythms, drums, and centuries of training. Now they've assumed a new responsibility. In 2018, Voice of America reported that Zangbeto began patrolling mangrove forests near the Mano River. They now warn away illegal loggers and overfishers, protecting not just human communities, but entire ecosystems. As scholar Romuald Fonkwa wrote, Zangbeto embody art, power, and peace, unified as one. People don't merely observe them, they place profound trust in them. The Saka Yakut. People. In Yakutia, deep within Russia's Siberian expanse, winter doesn't visit temporarily. It rains absolutely. And yet, the Saka people don't merely survive, they flourish. Where temperatures once plummeted to negative 67.7 degrees Celsius on February 6, 1933, the Saka still sang toward the sky. Nearly 500,000 Saka inhabit the Republic of Saka, Yakutia, mastering both biological adaptation and ritual practices. Scientists have traced cold adaptation mechanisms to genetic regions like TBX15 and WRS2, which influence fat distribution patterns for enhanced thermal regulation. Additional studies from 2022 and 2025 revealed selection in UCP genes, activating heat production through brown adipose tissue. Their metabolism doesn't combat the cold, it thrives within it. But genetics alone don't encompass the complete narrative. At Isiaq, the summer festival, elders pour kumis, fermented mare's milk, toward the heavens and chant. Their epic poems, the Olonko, proclaimed a masterpiece by UNESCO in 2005, preserve collective memory through myth and music. Even their domesticated animals demonstrate remarkable adaptation. Yakutian horses excavate through snow at -60 degrees, enduring temperature fluctuations exceeding 100 degrees throughout the year. Scientific studies have cataloged their fatty acid profiles, herd structures, and even the manner in which stallions lead groups of approximately 15 mares across snow-covered terrain. External observers once declared no human habitation possible here. But the Saka do more than inhabit. They thrive. How do these communities unlock abilities most consider impossible? Could scientific advancement ever fully replicate traditional knowledge, or are we only beginning to comprehend these phenomena? Share your most compelling theory below.